set up your 2 yoga blocks and your yoga mat. If you don't have yoga blocks, feel free to use 2 heavy books. Begin in an easy seat with your legs crossed. Slide your flesh out from underneath you and sit up tall, supporting yourself with your sits bones. With your palms resting up on your lap, relax your shoulders and close your eyes. As you breathe in and out through your nose, create a whisper-like breath so that you can continue to hear yourself even if there are noises inside the room or outside the room in which you are practicing. With each inhale, imagine you could sit up just a little bit taller. And each time you exhale, allow your shoulders to settle, the features of your face to soften, or even just your breath to spill out of you. If your thoughts drift away, keep circling back to the sound of your breath. This is the practice. From your easy seat, turn to face the front of your yoga mat and set yourself up in a tabletop, shoulders, elbows, and wrists stacking, as well as your hip bones on top of knees. As you inhale, for a cow pose, back bend, pulling your heart forward and up and lifting your hips. Exhaling for your cat pose, round your spine and push the floor away. Continue to inhale as you look out for your cow pose, and exhale as you round your spine for your cat pose. Align your breath with your movement. You don't need to rush in any way. Keep your face soft, all 4 corners of your hands plugged into the floor, and push the fronts of your ankles down to stabilize yourself. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up to walk your feet forward, halfway up the mat. Rest your belly to your thighs. Extend your arms out in front of you and lift your hips up. See if you can align your biceps with your ears. To give yourself the back bend of the pose, use your legs to stabilize you. Plug your heels into the floor. Energetically send your knees forward, even if they don't move too much. As you drive your knees forward, send your sits points up and back away from your knees. Then you'll be free to extend your spine without overworking your back. Pull your sternum forward. Keep your shoulders soft even as you extend forward through your fingertips. Pull your low belly in just a little so your lower back doesn't engage. And breathe in and out through your nose as you softly gaze out in front of you, perhaps right between your thumbs or a little bit behind them. Walk your fingers back and lift your heels. Align your thighs with the floor. Bring your hands to your hips to make space between your ribs and thighs, and extend your arms up by your ears. Even as your heels lift, keep imagining them charging back in space to counterbalance the thrusting forward of your knees energetically. To counterbalance your knees, also send your sits points down and back. Pull your low belly in. And imagine lifting the space right between your shoulder blades so that your upper back stays disengaged and spacious. As you keep your arms aligned with your ears, reach your wrists and fingertips up, but allow your shoulders to keep softening. Relax your face and breathe in and out through your nose. Drop your heels and stand up tall. Then rest your arms by your sides. Take a quarter turn on your mat and look forward. Sweep your arms up overhead and interlace your fingers, then flip your palms up to the ceiling. Lift your heels, then drop them down. Lift them up, drop them down. Continue to lift up through your heels and sink them down towards the floor without collapsing. As you look forward, unfreeze your face, drop your arms, and stand tall. Lift your right thigh parallel to the floor, interlacing your fingers below your knee at your shin. Flex through your right toes and look forward. Maintain a bend in your elbows and soften your shoulders away from your ears. As you look forward, you'll probably notice a bit of movement in your left leg. There is no need to be completely still. Instead, focus on the plugging in through the four corners of your left foot, as well as a lift in your inner arch, so that you keep yourself from collapsing as you anchor yourself at the same time. Breathe in and out through your nose. You might listen for the sound of your breath. Grab your foot with both hands and flex your toes. Extend your right heel forward and up. Do the best you can to soften your elbows so that your shoulders don't work too hard to support your foot. Instead, allow your fingers and biceps to hold your foot up. Charge your heel forward and up, and think your right sits point back so that you travel two directions at once to support your leg. Continue to focus on plugging down through the four corners of your left foot as you lift your inner arch. Soften your face, breathe steady, and look forward. Release your right foot down and stand tall. Support your left hip flexor and lift your left thigh parallel to the floor, interlacing your fingers below your knee at your shin just as you did on your right side. Flex through your left toes. Be mindful of your shoulders. Release them away from your ears as though they could sit upon your topmost ribs. Soften the space between your eyebrows and drop your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Plug in through the four corners of your right foot, maintaining a lift in your inner arch. Balance will require you to feel the motions out of your control, but maintain your steady breath. Grab your foot with your hands and begin to kick forward and up. Your standing right leg is your stabilizer, so plug down through its four corners. Big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound, both sides of your heel. And lift up through your inner arch so you don't collapse in your ankle, knee, or right hip. Instead of just thinking of kicking your right heel forward, left heel forward, send your left sits point back. Relax your shoulders. Keep your neck long. If you need to shift your gaze because your face starts to become tense, feel free. See if you can lengthen your breath. Release your left foot down and stand tall. Turn to face the front of your mat. Place your hands on the floor and step your feet back to your downward facing dog, almost an upside down V shape with your upper and lower body. To give yourself the back bend of downward facing dog, charge your heels down into the floor, even if they don't make contact with the floor. Soften your knees and think them energetically charging forward, even if you don't see much movement or feel much movement. Send your sits points up and back to give you more of a back bend in your lower spine. Do the best you can to keep your biceps by your ears. As you press your hands into the floor, think the four corners of your palms down and forward, instead of just smushing your fingers or collapsing into your wrists. Breathe in and out through your nose. Bend your right knee. Point your toes. Bring your heel close to the back of your right thigh. Continue to extend long through your arms without overworking your shoulders. Push the floor away. Continue to support yourself with your back leg. Squeeze your right calf into your right back of thigh. Relax the back of your neck and keep it long. Give yourself just another moment or two. Step your right foot forward and tap your back left knee down, untucking your back toes. You might set up one block on each side of your foot to rest your hands or fingertips on as you extend your right leg out and flex your toes. Feel free to elevate your blocks to another height if you need to. Find a back bend by sending your sits points back, drawing your sternum forward and up, and relaxing your shoulders away from your ears to keep your upper back spacious. Instead of just flexing your right toes and overworking your ankle, think your right heel forward. As you look forward, breathe steadily in and out through your nose. You're doing great. Give yourself another few moments in your pose. Then step your right leg back. Move your blocks. Place your hands on the floor and step back to your downward facing dog. Bend your left knee, point your left toes, and lift your left heel towards your left seat. Push the floor down and forward with your palms. Try not to collapse in your wrists by thinking of pushing down through the four corners of each palm. As you push the floor away, send your sits points up and back. Pull your low belly into your spine to keep your core engaged instead of your lower back. Try not to collapse in your right leg. Keep your heel driving towards the floor. As you keep your neck long, align your ears and your biceps. Look slightly forward, not so much that you crane your neck. Step your left foot forward and tap your right back knee and foot down to the floor. Place your blocks next to your foot and lengthen your left leg forward, flexing your toes. Feel free to elevate your blocks to another height if you need to. Once more, find your back bend. Send your sits points back as you draw your heart up and forward. Relax your shoulders. To do this, you might soften through your elbows. Try not to collapse into your hands on the blocks. Instead, support yourself with your hands. Flex through your left toes and drive your left heel down and forward into the floor as you send your left sits point back and away from your heel. Breathe steady and keep your face soft. Give yourself a few more moments. Come out of your half split and place your blocks off to the sides. Come a little bit forward on your yoga mat and send your left foot behind you, heel close to your left sits point. Grab your foot and extend it up to the ceiling. Relax through the right shoulder and the left shoulder as you kick your right heel forward and up. You might gaze at the ceiling where it meets the wall, or at your toes. See if you can find both sits points rooting down and into the floor so you feel stable enough to continue kicking and sitting up tall without overworking your back. Breathe in and out through your nose. Give yourself another few moments. Switch your legs. Bring your left foot back. Tuck your right foot back behind you, heel close to your right sits point. Grab your left foot with your hands, look forward, and kick your heel out and up towards the ceiling where it meets the wall. As you flex your toes, also think of driving the heel forward so you don't overwork your ankle joint. Maintain a softness in your elbows so your shoulders can soften even as you allow your arms to extend. Root your sits points into the floor so that you can rise away from the floor with your long spine instead of working your spine. Relax your jaw and settle the space between your eyebrows as you gaze forward and a little bit up. Perhaps you can lengthen out your inhales and your exhales. When you're ready, step your foot down. Bring both legs out in front of you. Come halfway up your mat, then lay yourself down. Bring your hands behind your head to make space in your neck spine. Bring your hands to your hip flexors as you lengthen your legs out long. Then rest your arms. Step your right foot in. Step your left foot in. Bending your knees, flex your toes, and kick your heels up to the ceiling. Bring your hands to your hips to create space so there is no compression around the hip flexors. Then rest your arms by your sides. As best as you can, maintain alignment between your ankles, knees, and hip bones. Relax your jaw and your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Feel free to close your eyes here as you begin to slow things down. Slow down your breath to soothe your nervous system. Take a few more moments here. Bend your knees. Place your feet on the floor. Make space around your hips and lower back. Extend your right leg long, and then your left leg long. Rest your arms by your sides, palms up, and create space between your shoulder blades and across your chest. Let your toes flop open to the sides. Heavy your eyelids. And as you continue to breathe in and out through your nose, try not to force your breath to be a certain pace, speed, or depth. Rather, allow your breath to slow down on its own. Scan your body for any tension or holding. Then imagine that the floor below you is there to support you, so that breath by breath, you put forth less effort and allow yourself to be held. Trust that you've done enough work. Great work today. Drink plenty of water and take some time to rest. Namaste.